This week for Warrior Way, I want to talk about building a culture of kindness. Specifically, I want to talk about what it means to be working towards empathy. First off, what is a culture of kindness? A culture of kindness is the act of being friendly, generous, and considerate towards others. It involves showing compassion, empathy, and understanding. Remember, kindness is not limited to grand gestures. It can be as simple as a smile, a compliment, or a small act just to show others that you care. One way to create a culture of kindness is by understanding and practicing empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It involves putting yourself into someone else's shoes and seeing the world from their perspective. Empathy allows individuals to connect with others on a deeper level and respond with compassion. You might be thinking of people who use empathy all the time. People like doctors, nurses, teachers, counselors, maybe even your friends and family. Empathy is worldwide. Everyone can use empathy, and it's something that everyone should practice. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between empathy and sympathy, because I hear these words used interchangeably a lot. Empathy is showing compassion and understanding for another person or their situation, while sympathy is feeling pity for someone or feeling sorrow for what they are going through. In short, empathy is the ability to understand how someone feels, while sympathy is our relief in not having the same problems. If you look at the chart on the right, it shows you the differences between empathy and sympathy. Something I really want us to understand is empathy is understanding someone's feelings as if they were your own. Sympathy is feeling sorry for someone from your own point of view. What I really want everyone to practice and kind of think about is how can we look from other people's perspectives and how can that help us with solving problems or comforting and supporting others? There's lots of different ways to practice empathy. Here are some examples. Volunteering is a great way to practice empathy because you're donating your time and helping others. Resist passing unnecessary judgment. This boils down to the golden rule. You always want to treat people the way you want to be treated. Being present, being mindful of your surroundings and the people around you. Practice active listening. Practicing active listening helps us hear what other people are saying and reminds us to not pass judgment or give unsolicited advice. Put yourself in their shoes. This is the practice of perspective taking. Let's talk more about that. When I say put yourself in their shoes, I don't mean swapping shoes with your friend. What I mean is thinking about things from another person's perspective or seeing the world from the point of view of a different person. Raise your hand if you've ever heard the phrase, put yourself in their shoes. Now raise your hand if you've ever been going through something, but it felt like no one knew what was going on, and even if they did, they wouldn't understand. This is a really common feeling to have. So when we walk with people in the hallway or we listen to the teacher's teaching class, we should try our best to put ourselves in their shoes before we judge them, say mean things about them, or treat them poorly. A little kindness and empathy can really go a long way. But empathy can be hard because sometimes you might not know what to look out for. Or you might not know why you need to show empathy to someone in the first place. I challenge you to think about it this way. Every person in this room, in this school, on this planet, is the main character in their own story. That means every person has their own personal lives with their own highs and lows and their own struggles and celebrations. Just because a person might not look like they are struggling doesn't mean it's not happening. Before we watch this video, I do want to give a light trigger warning. This video briefly mentions topics like abuse, eating disorders, and other difficult topics. These topics may be difficult for some people to engage with, and that's okay. If you feel uncomfortable for any reason, please take time to remove yourself from the space and find an adult to talk to. Teachers, please pause and play the video for your students. Now that you've watched the video, here are some questions I want you to think about. What do you think the message of the video is? What is it trying to teach us? What was the focus of the video? Did it just focus on the students' lives? Or did it include teachers and adults? How does this video apply to your life? I want you to think about things like school, friends, home, your future. Teachers, please pause and discuss with your class. Let's talk a little bit about why empathy matters. Well, first of all, empathy helps build and maintain strong, healthy relationships and friendships. Relationships and friendships thrive when you are not only thinking about yourself. Actively thinking from your partner or your friend's perspective will help build communication and trust, making it a healthier and stronger friendship or relationship. Empathy can also help us have realistic views of the world around us. Seeing and understanding how other people live or how they feel allows us to see the world in a more realistic way. Seeing the world in a more realistic way helps us interact with people, and it helps us make purposeful decisions that will help the people around us and ourselves in the long run. Empathy is also a really important employability skill. In fact, empathy was considered a key trait of most innovative teams involved with Google headquarters. It also helps improve collaboration skills. Teamwork really does make the dream work, and empathy is a key ingredient to making that happen. It empowers teams to see and recognize everyone's individual challenges and goals, and that helps them come together to achieve overall larger goals. Empathy can also enhance creativity and your ability to problem solve. Thinking outside of the box is a term often used for being creative. Practicing empathy allows people to step away from their own perspectives and look at problems from a different angle. Using empathy to see the world through the eyes of a customer, your friends, your family, can help you come up with the solutions you may not have been able to with just your point of view alone. For this activity, students feel free to do this individually or with a partner. Here's a QR code to a Google form. You will read and think about 2 scenarios that will challenge you to use empathy by taking different perspectives. I want you to think about what it might be like to be in the other person's shoes. Be prepared to type your responses in the form before submitting. Treat this like an exit ticket, please. Teachers pause and allow students to use the QR code. For next time, we are going to learn and talk about healthy and unhealthy relationships. This will be after spring break, so I hope all students and all staff have a wonderful, relaxing, and safe spring break.